Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
This is the best of Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Some adventures are too good to experience just once. Here's Mike with a look back on one of our favorite adventures.
Well, we're starting the show off right this week out here on the beautiful Miles River. It's just off the town of Newcomb here in Talbot County, Maryland. You know, everybody always says, if you live on the Eastern Shore and you ain't crabbing, well, you ain't living. Well, today we are living it up, and I am happy and lucky, I should say, to be spending some time with a couple of recreational crabbers who know this area and also know a few different methods for catching these blue crab.
See, because when I was here last time, I caught a few by the dock, and then I didn't catch much out there toward this truck here.
There are certain guys who you can just tell are born to do something. In the case of Tom Phillips, that natural instinct is to go crabbing just about every Tuesday.
I'm gonna jump in the water with an old pair of shoes on and get ourselves wet and try to catch them the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way is one way to put it. Waiting is another. And either way, it's a tried and true method here around the St. Michael's area.
And you see lots of little fish.
We're getting up to your knees in it.
Very wet. He took off.
Is a good thing. Because in these vast saltwater grass beds is where Maryland blue crabs are known to hang out. Need proof? Just keep your eye on Tom.
Okay. Scooped him up. He saw me coming. All right, that's an immature female. Okay, she has trying to get at me there.
Now, there's a few things about waiting that make it fun, and for starters, it's a chance to understand the crab life cycle, mainly their breeding habits and outer shell stages.
That crab is well big enough.
For instance, find a mature male hard crab in a cove like this, there's a good chance he's holding on to a female in her soft shell stage.
There's your hard crab that was on top. The female underneath, okay, she was a salt crab the first part of this tide. She's now gotten hard enough, we call her a paper shell. You can see where her shell is not soft, but it's not real hard either. It's kind of in between. It buckles when you push it. He mates with her while she's soft. Takes about 4 or 5 hours or so. And then once that process is over, she starts to become hard again. They pretty much, not much romance there. They go separate ways. He's done what he has to do, and she's now, you know, fertilized with eggs for the next generation of crabs, and she's now a silk. She's become pregnant with eggs.
And for the recreational crabber, hard-shelled females are off limits, so you've got to know how to identify the sexes. For one, females have a distinct red tip on their claws. For history buffs, go ahead, flip them over. You'll like this. The female apron resembles the Capitol Dome, while the male is the Washington Monument. Now, all crabs will shed as they grow and seek protection in places like these grasses. So there's always a chance of netting a big, soft-shelled male like this, too.
Can't bite you, can't hurt you. Not at this stage, you can't. So, pretty cool, huh?
Using a float design that Tom's brother-in-law perfected for him a few years back, the vulnerable soft crabs will be stored separately from the aggressive, hard-shelled ones. And after about an hour of instructional fun out here, we're headed back to the truck with about 7 or 8 keepers.
I think that was the big old motor that Mike called right there. The one with the bad attitude. Yeah.
The one staring me down?
Yeah, staring down, yeah. And they will bite you. Every time, yeah.
If waiting was old-fashioned, then we'd spend the afternoon upgrading our technique. With Tom navigating the Miles River from the back of the boat, his longtime buddy Kevin Collins was in charge of baiting 20 crab traps, each fitted with a delectable, fresh, greasy chicken neck.
And you can see it goes right down through the bone there. Comes out the other side, so your chicken neck is on there. Clip it, and that's it. And throw your trap in the water and throw your float.
And for most crabbing trips, it's as simple as that. Just repeating until you've got a nice line of traps to tend over a few hundred yards of water. But this is Outdoors Delmarva. And we've got a few toys we like to bring to the party, including our underwater crab cam, fastened tightly to the inside of the trap right next to the chicken net. As we drop it about 9 feet or so to the river's bottom, the only thing we can do is let it soak. And we'll be checking back in a few minutes.
Kevin does that, I'm happy. Okay. Crabs here. Crabs here.
After our first run, we've got a few crabs to sort through. Returning all females and any males that don't measure at least 5 1/4 inches across from tip to tip. Hopefully, it's the early makings of a bushel. Now back to the crab cam, where our little experiment is yielding some impressive results. First, as we see what appears to be a camera-shy crab approaching the trap, but it never enters. But after just a few more minutes, we've got the shot we were hoping for, as this female enters the trap and starts chowing down. Just look at the power of those claws. She is in control. So imagine her surprise when Kevin yanks the rope, sending the crab suddenly soaring to the surface at Mach speed.
She is on video, okay? We have her on, we have the female on surveillance, okay? We know what she likes to eat. We know how deep she hangs out.
And now we've got a perspective even these longtime crabbers have never seen before. After a few more trips up the line, we've got enough keepers for a 3-man feast. And as we head back to the docks, it's been a day of old school tricks, new experiments, and an overall experience you gotta sink your claws into.
Hey, get outdoors, Delmarva.
Coming up next on the Best of Outdoors Delmarva, we'll take to the skies in Chopper 16 to check out some local wildlife. Plus, grab a disc and let it fly as we introduce you to an emerging sport. But first, did you know? A group of raccoons is called which of the following? A herd, a pack, or a nursery? The answer when we come back.
You're watching the Best of Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, and Shooter's Choice. The Best of Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
Did you know? A group of raccoons is called a nursery.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina. You're watching the Best of Outdoors Delmarva. Here's Captain Willie.
You know, whether you think of them as stately and sinuous or just skinny and gawky, you'll have to admit the great blue heron is an icon in the Delmarva bird world.
When you see a great blue heron, it's nearly always alone. At nesting time in the spring, however, it's a different story. They gather in communities to raise their chicks, and on Delmarva, they like the tops of closely packed tall pine trees. This rookery is over the buffalo pen at the Salisbury Zoo. They're safe up here from ground predators for the 28 days it takes for the eggs to hatch. Both parents will take turns sitting on the eggs and feeding the chicks until they're ready to fly at 2 months of age. Less than half the chicks will make it to 1 year, but if they do, they may live for around 15 years. Life in a nursery like this is crowded, noisy, and fraught with anxiety for a few months, so it's no wonder the adults head back to the stream banks and the marshes for some peace and quiet for the rest of the year. Although they are solitary feeders, they aren't always the only birds at the banquet. They'll protect and even fight for what they catch. This fellow up at Fowler's Beach on the Prime Hook has caught an eel that's attracting a crowd. Now, sharing it's not an option. And beginning to look like having the biggest lunch can be kind of a problem. The only way to keep it is to gulp it down, sand and all. And then a sip of water to clear the palate, and it's time for a one-legged nap.
So there's a lot more to the life of a great blue heron than meets the eye. Back to you, Mike.
Well, it's just one of the truths of the job. I spend a lot of time around local parks kind of scoping out new activities to show you here on the program. And well, this week at the recommendation of a friend, I'm here at Shoemaker Park in Salisbury, Wicomico County, for an activity that, yeah, I'm aware of, just never really got that familiar with. So if you're in the same boat, consider this your introduction to disc golf.
These are our B players, our less experienced players. Scott has our A players. We're going to give them a little flip, and we'll put them in the order that they fall.
2 words, disc and golf. And you can sort of grasp the concept pretty easily. And around Salisbury, there's a group of competitors whose interest in this emerging sport is fanatical.
My name is Kevin Gleason. I've been playing disc golf, also known as frisbee golf, for 17 years. I love the game. I play it all over the world. I've been to Colorado, Wisconsin, Arizona, Florida, Tennessee. I still am not nowhere near where I want to be.
This club that meets each week for a doubles matchup is pretty diverse, from sponsored members to newcomers, still trying to pin down their strengths. Either way, if you understand scoring in regular golf, then you'll understand it here. Except, of course, that the holes are chain-link baskets. You've still got to throw under par to score. And here at Shoemaker, every hole is a par 3.
One of the unique features of Shoemaker is that we have 2 tees, 2 permanent tees, and 2 permanent baskets every hole. And what this does is allow the recreational player to come out and really have a good time, because it's a short course. The first time out, they might get a few pars, they might even get a birdie. And when we go to our the long tee to the long basket, that's built more for the pros. It's a very technical course, it's very tight, very challenging.
Now that we've all thrown, we can just go and see who has the best disc. With me and Scott, it was clear that his disc was better over here towards the basket. So I'm just gonna go find mine that's over here and pick it up. Yeah!
If you're just out to kill some time, a novice disc golfer can get through the course with a standard frisbee. But sanctioned discs like these are a little more pricey and more specialized, from driving to chip shots to putting.
Nice shot.
It's a lot thinner, it's a lot faster, it goes a lot farther. Your big pros in the world are throwing these things 500, 600 feet. Me, I can hit about 420 feet.
At Shoemaker, the disc golf course is public and free, while some other courses in the area will set you back a few bucks. For instance, those found inside state parks, where you'll have to pay park admission. But in general, it's affordable enough for a trial run. Whether you'll soon be driving the basket through the trees in just one toss, or putting to win, you'll have plenty of competition waiting when you decide.
Get outdoors, Delmarva!
Coming up next on the Best of Outdoors Delmarva, it's a hybrid headache for researchers looking for answers in the local duck population. Plus, you won't want to miss this week's Scorchy's Corner Classic.
You're watching the Best of Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Some adventures are too good to experience just once. This is the Best of Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Well, it's one thing for different types of wildlife to commingle. I mean, it happens all the time, really. In particular, with different types of waterfowl, say sharing the same pond. But when different birds interbreed and hybridize, well, the results can muddy the water between natural and problematic. And on Delmarva, that concern involves black ducks and mallards. Now, trained eyes have noticed a hybrid of the two species for a few decades now, but a new survey spanning the entire Atlantic Flyway
Looks like we got a pair of black ducks.
is evidence it could be happening too much for either species' own good.
We set this trap this morning probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
To study the birds, they've got to be trapped first. And around here, Maryland DNR collects live birds daily and nightly from around Somerset, Worcester, and Wycomico counties. It's pretty common to catch unwanted species too, like wood ducks, and they're set free on the spot. But the black ducks and mallards take a field trip where processing begins.
We've done some studies in the past with DNA. This is the first year of a pilot program, actually going, studying them with the feathering, just by physical appearance.
Hold on, big guy.
And each duck is banded and examined, and any signs of hybridization recorded.
Pure black duck. He's got the feathering in here. See all the brown feathers in here, which he's supposed to have. He's supposed to have 10 or more of those in there. But she has no dark feathers on this leading edge, so she's a hybrid.
So beside outward appearance, what's the problem? Well, there could be a few, but for one, black ducks are accustomed to life around saltwater. Mallards thrive in more upland freshwater conditions. A hybrid of the two could result in, say, a young black duck with mallard instincts, impairing its ability to survive in black duck habitat. Now, data on these ducks will be collected over the next 2 years or so and processed into findings and possibly used in an as-of-yet undetermined course of action. In Wycomico County, I'm Mike Parker, reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva.
And now it's time to check in with an old friend. Here's this week's Scorchy's Corner Classic.
I know there are a lot of you folks out there wondering where Scorchy Talls is and what he's been up to. Well, I'll tell you all you need to know about that. When I called him at home in Chrisfield last week and asked him if he'd like to have a ride in Chopper 16, he said, if I can take my camera. So you know Scorchy is still at it. So have you used a digital camera?
Oh yeah, I got one.
That's the kind you're using now. Yeah.
Got a Nikon digital there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I never leave home without it.
That's a view of Tangier from Chrisfield, so it's...
These places are so close together up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going from Chrisfield to Winona to Tangier in a matter of minutes. I went ashore at Boothworth Island once to do a story. It was full of unexploded shrapnel and everything. But you know the one thing that impressed me most there that I can never forget? They had mosquitoes there as big as turkeys.
Is that right?
Wow.
The big mosquitoes, huh?
I mean big mosquitoes. Can we tilt this way a bit?
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
And it was good having you with me today.
Well, Willie, I'll tell you something. I don't know when I've enjoyed anything any better than this. It's just been wonderful.
This is the best of Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker. Boy, are we enjoying some beautiful weather right now, and no better time to get outside and check out some of the new products designed to get you outdoors in style. And our friends from Gateway Subaru are here at this Outdoor Expo to show off some new models. And it's always good to see our friend Drew Hazencope with Gateway Subaru. Drew, how you doing?
Good, Mike, how are you?
Well, we know the Outback, we know the Forester. Tell me about the Subaru Impreza.
Well, Mike, you're right. Everybody does know about the Outback and the Forester, but maybe the most impressive vehicle we have right now is this Impreza. Brand new, 2012, fully redesigned, and it's all about the gas mileage and all-wheel drive.
O'Brien here is just one of the friendly faces you'll see at Gateway Subaru, and you know these cars better than anybody. Tell me about the Impreza.
First of all, the shape of the car is more aerodynamic, gives you maximum gas mileage. Also, the headrest has been changed. Now it's adjustable, more comforting. And now, the new Imprezas are getting 44 to 45 miles per gallon on the highway.
The Impreza, a little bit smaller than, say, the Outback, but still lots of room for your gear.
With backseat folded down, it's 60-40 split. You get 52.4 cubic feet of space. Wow. That is a lot of space.
Leather seats, sleek styling on the dash, comfortable steering wheel, just fun to drive. All right, we've got a customer checking this car out right now. Let's see what she's thinking. Hi there.
Hi.
Sorry to sneak up on you like that,
Okay.
but looks like you're in the market for a new car. What do you think of this 2012 Impreza?
I like it. It's roomy and it's fuel efficient. I'm really liking it.
How about the look?
It's sporty.
Just like you.
Oh, thank you.
When it comes to this Impreza, I am impressed.
Well, Mike, at Gateway, we're impressed as well. We're so happy that Subaru engineered a product that is bigger and now the most fuel-efficient all-wheel drive vehicle in America.
All right, Drew Hazecoat with Gateway Subaru. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, this 2012 Impreza, just another option for you if you're looking for a vehicle that's safe, fuel efficient, and of course, has symmetrical all-wheel drive. Check out our friends at Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And we'll be right back. Coming up next on the Best of Outdoors Delmarva, your latest viewer pictures.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by Shorts Marine. This is the Best of Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Shorts Marine. And Shooter's Choice. Now, let's get back to the show.
But before we go any further this week, we wanted to give you a recap of the recent Ocean City Shark Tournament. Despite a weekend of less than favorable fishing weather, the 31st annual Ocean City Shark Tournament still provided some thrills. Outdoors Delmarva was there when both of the weekend's top two sharks arrived at the scales. The 174-pound mako caught by the guys on the triple threat was a beauty, but was quickly unseated when the crew of the non-typical weighed in a 224-pound mako less than an hour later. And congratulations to the winner and all the participants of the Ocean City Shark Tournament.
It's time now to take a look at the pictures sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers. Alan Sklar from Ocean City recently caught and released this nice red drum off Assateague Island. Wendy Moores from Mardella Springs used her camera to capture this moment with an adult woodpecker feeding her young. And here's a short video sent in by viewers Leela and Sonny Chris. It seems the annual horseshoe crab spawn has come right to their back doors. We've had a lot of fun this week, and we hope you'll join us for another round of adventures really soon. For Mike Parker, I'm Captain Willie Dykes, reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva.